Reggie's Corner Variety Gaming.
Welcome to this after completion review. So the review I'm about to make is based on the fact that I've finished the entire campaign in my Let's Play of TimeShift. And now that I've done so, I have some things that I can say about the game and some conclusions that I can draw and, stuff that belongs in a review. So to start off, this is a game that originally came out in 2007. It was developed by Saber Interactive and it is a first-person shooter, and it was published by Sierra Entertainment, and it was released, I think, originally for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. I did, however, play this on the PC using the GOG version, or the good old games if you prefer that. It was a version that ran really smoothly once I got it to run at all. If you are wanting to play this game on PC using that version, I highly recommend looking up some threads on how to make the game run before you start doing that, because if you don't, there is a high chance of you not being able to start it at all, and that would be money wasted. So that's a huge minus to this game right out the gate, that it takes a bit of hassle for a lot of people to get it to run on modern day computers. Having said that though, when the game started, it ran smoothly for my entire Let's Play. So at least when you're over the first hurdle, it is kind of okay. So plot-wise, it's not really easy to know what this game is about, aside from what it's about. I mean, that is a weird way of putting it, but it's very direct. You start the game and you immediately kind of start playing the game, and then you get snippets of story here and there through cutscenes or like short comments and whatnot. It's not a lot, and even if you like piece them all together, the story isn't especially deep, but I'll do a small recap just the same. So in the near future, scientists have begun working on creating viable time machines. And this project resulted in the creation of several devices, one of them being the Alpha suit and one other being the Beta suit. And the Beta suit is the more advanced military grade model, and the Alpha suit kind of lacks that stuff, but they both have the time jumping capability built in. So the director of the project is a scientist or professor, or maybe both, man named Dr. Aiden Krone, and he takes the Alpha suit and travels into the past and also destroys the facility where the kind of project was being led in modern times. And when he's back in the past, he is kind of ruthlessly positioning himself as the dictator of that timeline and that world, and he kind of builds up something called the Krone Corporation, and he controls a very dystopic world, you could say. So the protagonist is an unnamed scientist who probably also worked on the same project, and in the original draft of the game he was supposed to be called Michael Swift, but in the end product they actually never give him a name. Anyhow, he takes the Beta suit and follows Dr. Krone back to the year 1939 in an alternate time stream to a place called the Alpha District. And the Alpha District is kind of where a lot of this game takes place. Although you travel around quite a bit, but it's focused on that very district. And as he arrives there, parts of the Beta suit is damaged, and he can't return straight away. And he also needs to sort the situation out in order for him to return to the original timeline. And the only way he figures out that he can do that is to assist the occupant rebellion forces in their rebellion against Dr. Krone. And if he can help them succeed, he thinks he might be able to stop the Doctor, or maybe take back or destroy the alpha suit or salvage parts so that he can return himself. So he's confronted by Krone in a giant war machine, which nearly destroys the occupant forces early on in the game, but eventually through like a series of very varied missions, you get to take down the evil Empire of Swords. And well, that's pretty much it. Gameplay wise though, this game sold me on a feature that is almost embedded in the name. It's called TimeShift because you play around with time in this game. So a key feature is the player's ability to control time. You can slow it, stop it, or rewind it almost at will. There is like a little counter or like a bar for it, so it only works during a specific time frame, but you can recharge it pretty fast and it's easy to use as well. So this allows a player to stop time, dodging incoming projectiles, steal enemy weapons, and there's also quite a few time-based puzzles that require one, two, or all of these abilities put together in order to solve puzzles and in order to progress. If you don't solve these, you can actually get stuck in the game. So it's not like an alternative way of solving rooms and situations. It's something that you must wrap your head around if you are about to go through the entire campaign. And the only like way to I don't know, get through this is basically trial and error. They won't give you a lot of hints aside from like having you face situations where it's very obvious that you need to do something having to do with time manipulation. So, having said what this game is about and what it has to offer, I would say that it's enjoyable, at least to me. I had a good time playing this game. I wasn't looking for a deep story. I wasn't looking for amazing characters. If that's your jam, you'll probably be slightly disappointed or very disappointed in this game. It's more a backdrop than anything else. What I liked about this game though was the environments. I thought they were pretty varied and pretty fun, and you had some pretty cool weapons in there. I particularly loved the like crossbow, which also was kind of a sniping weapon, which was really fun. But there's a lot of different weapons in there, and you also get to use some vehicles and visit pretty cool facilities and outdoor environments and whatnot. Story-wise, it's not much to talk about. I don't even remember like the names of a lot of people that you were friends with. Like the only one I kind of remember the name of was Dr. Aiden Krone, because he was shown as the villain so many times. There's also like a woman back in your original timeline that looks to be sort of a love interest, but she was very, very, very sparsely pictured in this game. And yeah, they could have, if they wanted to, they could have gone a lot deeper on the like lore, active lore of this game. One of the nice features though is that you do get to unlock a lot of art and like concept art for this game throughout it while playing, and you can access those through the main menu of the game if you so will. And it's kind of fun if you are into that, like early concepts and what things are supposed to be called. Like a lot of the enemies you run across, you never get any name of, but then you can actually tell which like type of persons they were, what type of soldiers, what they were equipped with, and yeah, it's pretty fun if you're into that sort of stuff. I would, on the whole, say that this game have held up pretty well. The gameplay is still nice, the gunplay feels pretty good, and the environments are still very much okay in my book. It's not a super pretty game, but it's far from an ugly game, I would say. I would probably give this like a solid 3 out of 5 if you are into just a good FPS experience and having to play around with like time manipulation stuff. That what I took from this game, and it was kind of what I was looking for in the game as well, so it didn't disappoint me at all, really. Yeah, lengthwise, it was a fairly long game, so for the price you probably have to pay for this nowadays, I think it's fair enough, and you could probably get this through like a sale and stuff like that as well. It's an old game by now, so I don't think there is any reason for it to be super expensive anymore. And yeah, if you're willing to put down the time in order to make it run, I would say, like, if you're into a fairly well-balanced, fun FPS game, TimeShift might just be one to try out. And I certainly enjoyed my time with it. I might even go back someday and try and finish it on the hardest difficulty, just to see how it might change the gameplay. It wasn't super hard, I should say. It wasn't super hard. Sometimes there were somewhat challenging parts, but most of the time it felt pretty straightforward, just to do what you do in FPS games. Use cover to your advantage, scan the environments, and take your time. That usually got me through most of the situations. Anyway, that is all I have to say about this game. And yeah, I certainly don't regret trying it out. And this is in 2020, so an old game still makes me happy. And that's all I have to say for now. See you again in another video, but for now, it's bye-bye.